Welcome back, listeners. This is the 2020 Hit Pause podcast. 2020 vision. We're in a new century. See you next century.
Why?
Saw you last century.
Why are you doing this?
You're here with your host. To my right, it's David.
That's me.
And my name's Ayman. I'm the one with all the jokes, the vision, the since last century. I've been
the new
coming
year,
at you
new
with
Ayman.
the Hit Pause.
And I'm just sick.
I'm already lost for words.
Yeah.
And we're like 5 seconds into this. This podcast is all about YouTube. If you don't know about YouTube, listen to it for the fun because we got a lot to catch up on. We've been away for like 4 weeks or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
feels like it.
About 4 weeks. And I must say, we got a lot to catch up on because firstly, I've been watching a lot of YouTube. And secondly, I haven't seen you in like 4 weeks.
That is also true.
The only reason for us to hang out is this podcast. You know, outside of this, we're really not friends, so...
It's sad when truth comes out on a podcast.
Yeah. So how you been, bud?
Well, like I said, I've been a little bit sick.
Tell us more about that.
It could have been linked to me going out New Year's Eve.
Considering we're like sat right next to each other,
Should you be worried?
talking a lot, should I be worried?
No. But I just wanted to put that out there in case the
says
sound of
no.
my voice sounds very weird to people listening, and they're like, "Wow, they've really lowered their audio quality in 2020. Like, are they trying to save money?"
Subscribe on iTunes, any podcasting app, to see if I do actually get sick next week. And then we can all blame
That's
David
a good test.
together.
Yeah. No. I've been good. I've enjoyed my transition into 2020. I've had gone out twice. I don't know if that's like a record. It's not a record.
What? You've gone out twice in 2020?
Yeah, in 2020.
Interesting. Okay.
Clubbing, house parties, that kind of stuff.
I would say I've been out... Wait, hang on. I've been out... When did I go out? I think I had a big night recently.
Oh, yeah?
I can't remember. Did I? It might have been last year. Never mind.
I just don't like my 20... No, not my 20. My January being quiet. You know, when you realize you're in the new year, it's like, wow, it's February already. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people go the other way, you know, the dry Januaries and all that.
What's that? Only loser. Okay.
All right.
You don't have any goals, do you, for this year?
Well, I don't really do resolutions, but I just make changes in my life whenever they come to me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody says go keto, I go keto.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't like resolutions. They don't work for me.
Yeah, clearly last year it didn't work for me because I was going to do the life drawing thing. And here I am, still undrawn.
Oh, David, you need to be drawn.
Yeah. That's a quote.
As soon as I met you, David, I said to myself, that man, he needs to be drawn.
Leonardo DiCaprio should have drawn me on a boat.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened yet.
So my big news is over the holidays, I turned 30.
Oh, yes, of course.
For, any of our listeners who thought I would be less mature.
Yeah, for everyone who thought, oh, this is a nice podcast listening to a couple of teenagers.
Yeah. No. I do listen to watch 30 hours of YouTube a week, and I am 30 years old. What do you want to do about it, okay?
Maybe give you some advice on how to be a better man.
For the record, we're both homeowners, so I feel like that counts for something. We've kind of like earned
you already
the
bought
right.
a home, so you can watch YouTube in private.
Yeah. God, all these people are getting in the way.
I know, like putting on normal TV.
Yeah. Ugh, disgusting.
I should say, I know we'll get into it, but I have been watching a lot of normal TV.
Ooh, wee.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yep.
I couldn't if I wanted to. My TV is not even hooked up. I don't pay for a TV license.
Yeah, there's no need.
Well, exactly. My TV's not hooked up. I can't watch it, Give me a break. Oh, God. So what else has been going on? What else has been going on with you, anyway?
Well, I should actually say there was 2 moments related to YouTube that personally I had a blast. I actually did tell you.
Okay.
So on New Year's Eve, it was a pub crawl. We met loads of people. It was like everyone just becoming friends for a night. That's basically the idea. A lot of them were Americans. A lot of them were few of them were Canadians and some from Europe, and they're all basically, besides me and maybe 2 other people, were coming from another country, having New Year's Eve in London, and then going to another country
Which
afterwards.
is insane. I've never really thought of London like it's a destination to party.
Yeah, exactly. I would have done it in Amsterdam, and people were coming from Amsterdam.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it does have like the flash and big city vibe, you know,
Leicester
like
Square. Maybe if it's your first time, you don't know that it's really not all that great.
Yeah, we do big fireworks though.
That is true.
You know?
Yeah, but they weren't here for the fireworks. That's let me tell you. So it's kind of started at 7 p.m. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is David Dobrik.
Ooh.
Okay, so there's 2 videos.
Ooh. Okay.
There's 2 videos that I kind of reenacted. So when we all got there for like 7 o'clock, I saw a ladder, and there's this David Dobrik video where he basically says, well, not he quotes somebody else, but tries to do it in his video. Whereas if you have a ladder and you go with somebody and you just storm through a cinema with a ladder, they will let you in because they assume you're doing work for like the cinema.
Right. Okay.
So I suggested to somebody else walk with me with the ladder through the Odeon because it was walking distance.
In no way.
No, it didn't work. It didn't work.
What, the Odeon Leicester Square?
Oh, yeah. It didn't work. They were like, what the hell are you guys doing? But the whole idea was like, they should just trust us because clearly we're here for maintenance work.
What time of night was this?
I know it was New Year's Eve, but it was like only 7, so I'm sure there was. I don't know if they opened the cinema.
Were you drunk at this point?
I mean, I've had some.
Did you wouldn't have appeared drunk then?
No, absolutely.
But obviously
not.
you were both wearing normal clothes.
Exactly, and actually we were smart casual. So if anything, we weren't. Okay, maybe
You're not going to be doing that if you're going up ladders.
Fair enough.
If you're wearing overalls, maybe.
But we did try and go with the idea like, oh, crazy night. Can't wait to be done with my shift. I'm clearly dressed. We did go with that idea. Like, try to improv it a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
what did they say? That's actually hilarious.
They were like, no, sorry, we didn't call for any, but can you just go away, please? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And then that was just one part of the night. Then we did like some fear pong, which also is a video I'm gonna link later, where it was just like playing beer pong but with some dares.
Okay, nice. That's pretty cool.
And there was one bit where somebody was asked a question to kind of like talk about their life story, and like kind of got emotional. Like they were talking about like their childhood, their like moms, like not really New Year's Eve, yeah. But there's always one person who didn't know it was gonna come out. But there's this bit in a David Dobrik video that has got me recently. It was like an old 2-year-old video that I saw, where it's basically a guy is proposing to his girlfriend, and like everyone in the room is like really like oh and like happy for them, and then there's this one guy in the background just staring, eating a donut, like he doesn't really care about what's happening, and it's the best cut to that guy's face. So I thought about that when this person was really bringing out a deep story, and I just drank my drink in like and I felt great that I referenced the video
to yourself,
to myself, but no one else knew what I was doing.
That is pretty funny.
That made my New Year's Eve special.
Yeah, that's good. Well, my New Year's Eve was actually very YouTube related. So,
and weirdly enough, I am kind of jealous of it.
I gotta say, it was actually really fun. So basically, I just had my sister over. My sister Tamara is a fan of the show, so shout out Tamara. Hope you're listening. Text me if you're listening. And she basically just came over. We drank. And we watched YouTube. So she's been listening to the show for a long time and watches very little. So there's all these videos that, you know, are absolute classics that we've talked about time and time again. And she'd never seen them. So we basically just drank and I showed her all these old YouTube videos. Then we went and watched some fireworks and stuff at the river. It was just like chill. It was cool. Really fun. Yeah, and it was so much fun as well going back over some of those old classics, like some of the Filthy Frank. I couldn't show her the hair cake trilogy.
Yeah. Well, one video is missing.
Ooh, yes. Oh God.
Oh, but that's 2019.
It's 2019 news. Yeah. But yeah, basically, Yeah, we just went through it all.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good.
I think we did link one maybe in the finale of last episode. So if you stomached watching that video,
We'll link one of the hair. One of
it was either the
cakes.
human cake or the hair cake.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. YouTube have changed a bunch of policies recently and have been removing videos left, right, and center.
Hey, as long as my kids are safe.
Yeah. God. It's a bit of a mess right now, but hey, it'll settle down. It's fine. Yeah, so in other news, I was also away for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Kind of up north. So all I had was my phone. I didn't really have anything else as a distraction. And most of the day was just sitting around drinking, went for a couple of walks, whatever. But I went on some awesome YouTube binges, which I'm so happy with. Like some seriously niche, specific stuff, and I just ended up like devouring tons and tons of different content. Like honestly,
I envy you.
I have such a list of just like such a wide variety of new channels, of old channels, of like just bizarre, weirdly specific things.
And I strongly believe you have a technique about it, because it's the same with TikTok. Like when you go through yours is broad and has like a wide variety, whereas maybe the way I watch is so strict to one type that even my TikTok and as well as my homepage never gives me anything surprising.
That is interesting because, I mean, firstly, I will say...
Maybe you click a lot more.
I will say, yeah, I mean, and I scroll a lot more too, but I will say that the homepage has been pretty good to me recently. It has been pretty good to me. So I think that they're always tweaking it, but I definitely think the homepage is improving. So kudos there. But that is interesting. It's like a different kind of way of consuming all the content.
Yeah.
Like, because you obviously get really into the vloggers and things.
Yeah, and now it's been like gaming, and that's all I see is like the gaming YouTubers that I've already seen.
Yeah. And I do get times where it's like that for me, but yeah, I don't know. I do in general have a very wide range of interests. Like, because I read and I like games, and I mean, I guess I'm not saying anything that's that extreme, but
one thing I would ask is, do you use the search bar randomly? Like, do you search for something that's not specific, perhaps?
No, in fact, I rarely
like
search.
You wouldn't search a book you're reading. Would you do that?
I think I might have done that maybe like once or twice.
So that's not.
Oh, yeah. I think what I did the other day was so I was recently binge watching loads of Dune videos.
Yeah.
So Dune is the really famous sci-fi series. There's a new movie actually coming out this year, which I gotta say I'm really hyped for.
Of course. And you did that review on your channel, of course.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, I read all six. Is it six? Yeah, all 6 books of Dune in one. Like back to back. It was ridiculous. And I did recently. I think I was Googling like just summaries or some like explanations of certain things. Maybe it popped up on my feed though. I'm really actually not sure. That's the thing. I don't know how I find most of the stuff. But anyway, rarely use the search bar. Rarely.
Yeah. Definitely
rarely. In fact, I think after this I want to look at my search history, in fact, because that's quite interesting. But I've just been finding like loads of different little things. So there was that. There was also this. By the way, I'm going to link a bunch of videos in the description, so check a lot of these channels out. But also, I got really obsessed with Stanley Kubrick, and especially the film The Shining, which I did not watch over the holidays at all. I have not seen the movie for years.
Yeah. And what's that movie that's referencing The Shining? There's a new one, isn't there? There was a movie that... well, yeah.
We're not a movie podcast. We don't need to know.
But I was just curious if you had seen that. I forget what it's called, but it references The Shining. I'll look it up.
Okay. So basically I just ended up watching tons of theory videos about The Shining and what it all means, because it's a very deep, dense movie. And it's very difficult to figure out like what's supposed to be happening and what's a dream, what's reality. And Stanley Kubrick is so incredibly good at making movies and making things, interesting and intricate. It's just like, it's fascinating. So yeah, I was watching a ton of content on that from this channel called Collative Learning. It's just like this Liverpudlian guy who, besides his YouTube channel, he pushes like his own website a lot, which is quite interesting because he's quite a small channel, but he's like pushing longer versions of his content for that you pay for, basically. So it's
is that because his stuff gets copyrighted?
No, it's just basically so he can keep making stuff and make money off it.
Oh,
He'll make like a 30-minute video of The Shining, and then he'll be like, yeah, go to my thing. I've got a 2-hour long version of this.
I love that.
that you pay for. Like, and I get it as well, because even I was thinking, you know what? I'm into this guy's theories. I like the way he talks, why he presents. It's interesting. It's like it's kind of like visual essays about the movie and all these theories and stuff. I watched a few different channels, but his was the main one for sure. But yeah, that was really interesting. And then some other Kubrick movies as well, like 2001 Space Odyssey. But none are as interesting to me as The Shining is.
Oh yeah, and the movie is called Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep.
Yes, yeah. So he actually mentioned Doctor Sleep. It's like a
I don't know.
billed as kind of a follow-up or a sort of sequel, but not really a sequel, just in
the same
spirit kind of thing. Yeah, and he says he actually didn't mind it, or you know, reasonably liked it.
Yeah, I think it's like now it's really turning into TV and movies. But Breaking Bad had that El Camino movie, which is just not got anything to do. It's like it's such an irrelevant movie, but it's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this could just be a movie. It doesn't really need to
it doesn't answer any questions.
Yeah. So what's some of the stuff that you've been watching on or off YouTube?
I will. Before I get into that, I do like what you're actually saying, and part of me thinks that that's what I want to go into for 2020 on YouTube.
What?
Because I've been watching a bit of TV. So I've watched American Horror Story, for example, season 7, which is called Cult, and American Horror Story I've loved since it started, but it has died down season after season. But this season specifically is really, really good. And I kind of wanted, and I did search for a YouTube channel where, you know, they react and they give their thoughts. And like you said, maybe, you know, it's not like it's as deep as The Shining, but their thoughts, any Easter eggs or conspiracies about each episode, and maybe follow a YouTuber as they do it and as I watch the episode.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting, I think, doing that.
I think I could be a sucker or, you know, really enjoy that kind of YouTubing. Like, for me, I love Survivor, for example. I would love... If I wasn't lazy, I would do the videos myself. But I would love to see a YouTuber that covers each episode.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. The other similar kind of content I was watching a lot of too was details and sort of theories about games. So not about any games, about Zelda. So I watched a bunch that were just about, you know, Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is the newest one, and how it references older games. And it's so interesting. Like, there is so much detail in a certain thing. Well, I mean, in this example, in the Zelda games, that you just would never notice unless you had played everything back to back and played them 100 times. But it's just fascinating, like, how well put together stuff like that is, and how well thought out it is. It's like there's things that come from previous games, but they're not. It's like they make sense being there. It's not just there to make the fans go, "Oh, look at that."
Yeah.
Which, by the way, brings me to my next point. Star Wars. I watched the new movie on New Year's Day with my sister. And that is one of the...
watched that in cinema?
Yeah. Oh, nice. That is one of the big...
Did you go in with a ladder?
That's how I got in. Yeah, I didn't buy tickets. Just one ladder.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a big problem with a lot of the Star Wars movies. It's just like they make nods to older movies for the sake of it, for the sake of the fans, going like, oh, look at that. Whereas it's not really like adding anything and it's not really like standing on its own 2 feet. It's just like relying too much on that stuff.
Nostalgia, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. So what other kind of stuff you've been into?
So YouTube recommended me a video, which is again probably in lines with what we're talking. An IGN video where basically developers of a video game watch a Twitch streamer speed run the game in remarkable time. So for those like out of the gaming world and so on, usually a game, maybe 6 hours. This guy basically streamed and did it in 49 minutes. And the 2 developers, they got them basically to narrate a YouTube video where they are reacting to it. And well, first of all, they were really good on microphone. Like obviously not every developer is ready for being an entertainer. They just sit and do their job. But these 2 were very entertaining, and on top of that, they were kind of interested and like praised how obviously they know people test their games, but on a level that they are actually like streamers and like, use the chat as help and like do it for a business. It was good to also see their awareness of it and their respect for people who obviously make YouTube videos and use Twitch as well. And on top of that, it was good to see how they noticed people breaking their games. Points that they thought they fixed certain bugs, but they didn't. And then they go into like game development and how, each level, how it gets spread across teams. Then it comes back in a modular kind of programming and everyone's like on their own task. And he found it interesting to see how somebody, especially like one person, can take apart all their hard work. Just by finding one little crack. And it's really good.
I actually really want to watch that video. I did see it in my feed because I actually do watch a lot of speedruns, which are quite common for like basically any game has a speedrun. And it can vary from a Zelda game that's normally 30 hours long going down to like an hour. And it could be, I think some of the fastest speedruns are like 30 seconds and things.
Who's that YouTuber we saw who had this dumb, a good record for a dumb game?
Penguin Zero,
It was.
Yeah, it was critical, He's got like 2 or 3 records for some really ridiculously bad
doing
games.
It in seconds.
But yeah, basically, it's so interesting. Like, one of the other things I was watching a lot of was just speedrunners explaining what they're doing or what's happening. They're like, so can get super technical, like I'm opening this chest 3 times to like overflow the memory and overwrite some other bit of code whilst playing, and it's just crazy how they figure this stuff out. Like, it's crazy. So I actually really want to watch that video that you mentioned. I'm gonna definitely watch that.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, a lot of it has fallen into the gaming kind of category, which not that I should be ashamed or not proud of, but that's just what YouTube's been giving me. A lot of Tim the Tap Man, Courage, Ninja, all those guys who kind of actually use Twitch and then put their clips on YouTube. But it has been entertaining to give them a couple watches.
Yeah. So I had a YouTuber moment the other day.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned about YouTube in real life just now with the David Dobrik things, but I met a YouTuber.
Yeah.
It's a big one as well. So he's been in quite a few memes, and his channel is big. It's about 1.5 million, I think.
Yeah.
And it's called Grand Illusions. Sorry, it's called Grand Illusions, and it's Tim from Grand Illusions. So his videos get out and about there. Like, they hit all kinds of demographics. So it's reasonably likely you will have seen a video pop up or something. But he's an old guy that sits at a big round table, wooden table in a suit, with a black backdrop, and he plays with interesting toys and optical illusions.
Hey, wearing a suit and being a YouTuber is already half the job.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's gonna work.
Yeah, there's only 2 guys doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and Review Bra. So yeah, he makes really good videos. They're just interesting, entertaining, lighthearted, and kind of just very calm, which is nice. So anyway, He's an old guy, and I bumped into him in Richmond here in London.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He was walking. So basically, we crossed paths. He was walking to the towards the post office where I had just been coming out of, and he had his hood up because it was kind of cold. And I glanced, and I was like, "Was that him? Was that Tim?" Nah, I don't know if it was. And I kept walking, and I was like, I kind of think it was him. I was kind of torn. I was like, oh, it's kind of cringy to go back, but no, you just got to do it. You just do it.
You just got to do it.
Yeah. So I went in. By this point, he was in post office, and I stopped him and I said, "Excuse me, do you have a YouTube channel?" He said, "Oh yeah, yes I do." And basically, we just chatted for a few minutes. I said, I really like your channel. It's kind of like a nice antidote for a lot of YouTube high energy stuff.
Yeah.
And I was asking him about his setups. He was saying basically, he's retired and things, and he just does this basically for fun. He has a producer who will edit the videos and does all that side of it for him, and he's just basically the front man. And he said his collection of toys is now 25,000. It's just all in suitcases around his flat.
Oh wow! So wait,
house or whatever.
Okay, so it's not actually done in like a studio.
I'm not sure if it's done in a studio or not. I think it probably is just done at his house. I would imagine.
Why not?
Because it's just a black curtain behind him, so you just hook that up easy. But yeah, it was just really interesting talking to him. Like he was just saying, I just do it for the fun, and it's a kind of a passion. It's always been interesting and enjoyed it. And there's certain things I always take them to, nieces and nephews and grandkids' birthday parties, and they all love it and things.
That's
it was
really
super
good.
nice.
That's really good.
Wholesome. It was wholesome. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool meeting him. I didn't get a selfie.
Of course.
But I did get his card. He gave me his card.
Oh, no.
Which, his card itself, actually I should have brought it to show you.
Didn't you say it had like his address on it?
Yeah, it was like his full thing, like phone numbers and all that. So
I think he may have just hit on you.
Yeah. No. But yeah, basically the card itself is an optical illusion. That's kind of why he gave it to me.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Like, so basically you it just looks like nonsense lines. When you turn it sideways, so it's like on lengthwise to your eye, it turns into letters.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's actually really cool. Yeah. So that was cool. I got to say, it was a nice moment. Nice moment.
Speaking of like legends and having a YouTube channel, did you see that Gus Johnson video on Mr. Bean's channel?
No.
Yeah, he did a really good video. However, I felt like, hey, I kind of called this before you, Gus Johnson. I had that kind of moment. But Gus Johnson's, he's like a sketch comedian, but he goes a bit above and beyond. And he did a different type of video where he just gave his thoughts on the Mr. Bean channel.
Oh, interesting.
Which makes a lot of views.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I haven't seen or even seen the thumbnails for the Mr. Bean channel, but I have seen him on TikTok, and I have
on TikTok.
Yes, he has his own channel on TikTok,
right?
And mostly
I'm
animated stuff.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Mostly, but some of it, it's like they're just pushing for a comeback for Mr. Bean.
Yeah,
it's weird.
But on top of that, though, it really also looks like they are whoever's running it. So it's good to hear what you were saying about Tim, but it's like for Rowan Atkinson, it seems like the YouTube channel is like a group of like, I want to call them like 18-year-olds, because they seem to be all about views and mass producing videos that are recycled the same as the last video, because they only have so much content to work with. So what it seems is they've obviously got the cartoons, which I think was a Cartoon Network show at some point. Okay. But Mr. Bean was only how many episodes? I swear it was just like a season of like maybe 6 or 8.
It's not a lot.
Like
then there's like
special.
there is a few movies.
Oh yeah, ignoring the movies though, but like the TV show. So basically what they've done is they've obviously put those videos out just so those are classics, they get views. Yeah. So then the next videos they would make would be bits of those videos, and then they will recycle it with basically a green screen. So they've gotten Rowan Atkinson to do a couple takes that they've probably just recorded all in one day, probably like 100 bits of just
Really?
him making those voices, him using his hands and like holding his teddy bear and doing a thing. And they've just like managed to put them all in these weird puzzles of combinations to combine it with bits of the old TV show to make a brand new nonsensical story.
What?
And then that's one video. And they post so regularly, so they're really draining what we've seen already and recycling it.
Wow.
And then on top of that, they really mass produce the cartoon bits and then just add his voice snippets to it.
So wouldn't you say a lot of views? Like, what are we talking?
I think they get a good like million here and there.
Okay.
So it's like, and it's clearly aimed at kids, but I don't know why. It's just, it's a very interesting video to see and then to look at the channel and be like, yeah, I just don't know if Rowan even knows that this is happening. That's
interesting. It's kind of like
because they're kind of spoiling his legacy.
Well, that's debate. That is obviously
debatable, but
the debate.
I'm sure if he knew from a millennial point of view how tacky it looks, he would probably be like, I don't.
He's quite old now, and he looks it when he's in costume and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of, at the end of the day, he's getting a paycheck from it.
I think it's a one-off paycheck, if you ask me.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
But I don't know. But the character is still like his, you know?
It is.
So, yeah, interesting.
But definitely give it a watch.
Either way, yeah, that is interesting. And by the way, in general, I've watched a few of Gus Johnson's like long-form discussion content.
Sure, yeah.
And it's always good. I always actually enjoy it, you know? I mean, obviously, I do prefer his comedy, but like, it's a good to have the mix on the channel.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's much better for his revenue, too.
Oh, yeah. He is going places. I can't wait to see him. He should come to England sometime because he's hit Comedy Central and all of these kind of...
Yeah, he's had some big deals and some big, like, things. I thought you were going to say that he was working with Mr. Bean.
Oh, no, but that would be different.
Like, that was like, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. I actually feel like I've missed out so much stuff. Like, I've got more on my list.
Hey, that's what we got a whole season for.
Yeah, I've got more on my list here, but I feel like I'm missing some things that I've spent a long time watching. So, by the way, as well, over the last few days, I've been gone back to watching a lot of Max Mofo Pokemon channel, which, if any long-time listeners will remember, I don't know however many episodes ago, I was on like a massive binge of Max Mofo Pokemon channel videos, and I don't know. He's just an entertaining guy, and I find it interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I've also had some good games to play recently, so it's definitely been a lot of like second screen viewing.
Yeah, definitely suits it.
But the next one actually, which is another new channel or bit of content, is the Bon Appetit channel.
Oh yeah,
which is it's a big channel for a start. I think 4.5 mil subs, something like that. 4 or 5 mil, somewhere around there, and they get good views. So basically, the setup is really well done. Like there's such interesting videos, but it's basically a whole group of chefs or cooks. It's like they're much more scrappy. They're not like super professional about everything, but they're all just really passionate about the stuff they make. Really knowledgeable, but like the videos are never particularly technical. It's always like, yeah, you can use this or just whatever you have around. You know, it's much more
lighthearted.
Yeah, much more light. So they basically have a kitchen which they all share, and each different person makes videos, and then they do videos together sometimes. And the thing is, people are always walking around in the background of each other's videos, and it's really interesting setup. It's like a YouTuber house, but a kitchen.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of people on there that get particularly good views. Number one of their people is Claire. So Claire is this really sweet lady she's got like a grey streak in her hair.
Yeah.
She's so sweet and nice and wholesome, and the internet loves her. There's all these memes about her.
She reminds me of that X-Men character.
Oh, yeah, Storm, because of the
the other one. No, yeah,
I think it's Storm. Yeah. with the white
with
streak.
the silver bit.
Yeah, the silver streak. Yeah. But basically, she's just like a really mumsy kind of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, the internet loves her. There's all these memes about Claire from Bon Appetit Test Kitchen, and I love Claire from Bon Appetit Test Kitchen, but it's always in a wholesome kind of way. So she normally pulls in 4 to 5 million views for a video, which is pretty great.
You own it.
Yeah.
That's great.
But my favorite one is this guy Brad. His series is called It's Alive, so it's always got some element of like of things like fermenting, or there's live bacteria that like break down the stuff and that kind of thing. And his video, he's just firstly a hilarious guy with this like New Jersey accent.
Yeah.
Really slurs his words. He's always like getting things mixed up.
Yeah, but like almost not intentional, but it's just it comes with confidence in front of camera that you can't miss.
Yeah. He's just a funny guy, and the stuff he makes is really interesting and cool.
Yeah.
Like he made this. What was it? He did this one where he was making jerky.
Ooh, okay.
And that jerky looked real good. There was another one we watched earlier, which was
with the yolks.
Yeah, so he basically made these cured egg yolks. So he made like 3 different ones: one with a goose egg, one with a chicken egg, and one with a ostrich egg. So it's massive.
You gotta have the ostrich egg.
Yeah, you gotta have the ostrich egg.
Come on.
So basically, he cures it for a few days, 3 or 4 days, in a salt, sugar, spices mix.
Yeah.
Then dries it for like I think a couple of weeks, or in the dehumidifier or humidifier. No, It's not called a dehumidifier. It's a
defibrillator.
Yeah. So he does that, and then they come out like hard little discs, and you can grate it over pasta, and it grates just like Parmesan cheese, and you grate it over pasta, and it looks incredible. Like I really want to try it.
And it looks like a school project if you tried it.
Oh man, that actually reminds me. Today I signed up for we're doing another bake off at work. Last year we did it like with baking cakes. This time we're doing savory bakes, and I signed up to be there on Monday. So I got to bake something on Sunday, man. Like,
oh wow,
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got no idea. Anyway, God, now I'm stressed.
Podcast over.
Yeah, I gotta go bake. But yeah, the videos he makes are super entertaining, really well done, and they're just funny but interesting. I like it. I'm into it. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, really good stuff.
Nice.
Okay. What else has been on your list this time around? What have your watch hours been like in general?
That is a good point. I will say I don't think I've watched that much. And in terms of like anything new that I bring, I think I'm pretty YouTubed out. The only thing I will say is I'm kind of annoyed with the fact that Jake Paul has a fight.
What? Does he?
Yeah,
okay, tell us. The news. Now we're going to the news with David.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Wow, this is the most uninspired, uninterested news you'll ever hear. Like,
wow, great.
Can you not hear it in the sound of my voice right now?
Keep listening, though, guys.
January 30th, I think he's fighting a guy called Gibb, which is a friend of KSI. Okay, sure. DAZN are doing it.
Oh, DAZN again, okay.
I will say, though, I've been seeing DAZN everywhere now.
Oh, wow.
Ever since that Logan Paul fight.
Really?
I'm seeing it for football.
They got a lot of good exposure. Hey.
Yeah,
but not here in the UK, though.
No. Well, I mean, like, there's...
Because they didn't do the fight here in the UK.
No, they didn't. But they are always doing a game that I can't see, like, on Sky or BT or Amazon or anything. Okay. And then when I see the highlights, I'm like, oh, okay, because DAZN seemed to get exclusivity to it somehow. So, I mean, good for them, but it's ruining it for some people like us. But yeah, he's fighting on, January 30th. And I think it's the whole build-up and the unnecessary, like, recreation of drama that doesn't exist. It's never going to be the same level. And it's kind of sad seeing them wish it was at the same level.
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, the only time it's going to get on that same level is when it is Jake fighting Logan.
Even I wouldn't really watch that.
No. But because if for that to happen, they would. I think that they would have to actually get in some.
Oh yeah.
Some
we've
shit.
passed those days, haven't we?
Yeah, I guess so. To be honest, as well, they wouldn't fight because it's just like Logan is obviously gonna win.
Well, I mean, KSI apparently says Jake is a better fighter, which I don't even understand.
KSI just says that to like
he opens his mouth.
Just be to annoy Logan. That's all he's doing. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how to say it, but I've met so many people recently that love Sidemen.
What? Like, actually, like, love it?
Like, they are entertained by it. But their stuff is so clickable. Like, the whole 5 guys in a row about to do a fake Tinder date. Like, it's that kind of content.
And as well...
British Lily Puns.
British. Yeah. And as well, because they are British, I feel like it clicks more with people over here as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess
and it's like, he's
it.
Like the hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, who else do we have?
Hey, okay, no problem if you like Sidemen. It's a big channel.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm just surprised. That's all.
Yeah. So there's some other things that I've found that I've been watching a lot of. Like, honestly, I just found I will just find a random little channel and just be like, boom, I'm basically gonna watch all the videos now, or all of the, top videos at least.
Did you watch all the videos to what's that video featuring iDubbbz, the Punches one?
Oh yeah, okay. That, since the last episode, my number one video is this one from a channel called Sad World, which is such like a fitting name when you see that kind of content. The reason it popped up is because it's featuring iDubbbz. So, by the way, shout out to iDubbbz, because he's proven time and time again that he's up for collaborating with people, and he does not care how big they are.
Oh yeah.
Like, in many ways, he prefers doing smaller channels, and it's like, I just like your stuff. I want to collab. I'm not even looking at your sub count, because these guys have maybe 250k subs. Obviously, would have been a lot less before the iDubbbz collab. And to be honest, iDubbbz barely even does anything in it.
I know. It's like if it was music, he'd be like, I don't say like Chris Brown, because Chris Brown has some negative parts to him, but it's like when a nobody, features Chris Brown, all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I'll give it a chance. Yeah. And then when it's like some media, like medium level, it's like, it's good for iDubbbz, and it's obviously great for YouTube as well.
So, Sad World. Basically, it's like, it's sketch comedy. It's very much the kind of thing you would see on Adult Swim or on their pitch meeting.
Yeah.
Development meeting. It's just... you got to go watch it. I honestly, look for it in the description. There's a link there. Recommend it. It's ridiculous. It's probably... I don't know who it's going to appeal to. I mean, my sister enjoyed it.
Which is good. And that's a good testimony to, like... I know we put a lot of stuff in the links. Why don't you just click a random one? Just click a random one and give it a shot.
Yeah. So the sketch is a drunken father just having a go at his son, and in a ridiculous way, he's like spitting beer out and throwing milk around, and it's just ridiculous, weird, and it's so... If you want to understand like what my favorite type of content is, and we already discussed, I watch a wide range of stuff. My favorite type of content is a type of like scrappy, edgy, messy, and just sort of, in a way, poorly thought out comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, even poorly thought out, actually.
Do you know what I mean by that, though? It's like...
It also is all done under a good umbrella of good edits.
Yes, good edits. Yeah. Which are also done in a way that seem bad or sloppy.
I agree, yeah.
I guess what I mean by like not thought through is like not overthought, not thought about too much. Like they haven't been putting in too much effort on the... I don't know, not effort, but...
I know what you mean.
You'll watch the video, you'll know what I mean. That's me all over.
So that's how they need to understand you, is just to watch that video.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, good.
That's all you need.
I should find a video that describes me.
Ooh, okay, go on then. What is it?
Well, no, I'm going to try to do that.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay. Okay, I've got 2 more channels to finish off with.
The listeners are ready.
3 more.
Well,
3
I don't know if they're ready for that.
Okay, 3 more. Okay. One is I watched a bunch of Angry Joe videos. We've mentioned him before because I wanted...
See, I didn't know you watched him as much as I did.
I don't.
Oh, nice.
I don't. I used to watch some of his videos, and I'll occasionally come to him if there's a particular thing I want to learn about or see a review about. So in this case, it was Star Wars. I watched the movie, and then I wanted to like see some breakdown of it, and he has a bunch of videos on it, long ones.
Oh yeah.
One's 2.5 hours, and it's just breaking it down in detail. I watched the whole thing.
He also did it for the TV show, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did, but I haven't actually watched that. But then he also did a 40-minute plot holes episode. It was just like...
No way.
Yeah, it was 40 different plot holes in the new Star Wars. And they just bang them out. They're like...
Goodness.
But it's still 40 minutes long. And then he also has a review as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you watched the new Star Wars and you didn't like it, or you thought it had some issues, go and watch the video I linked in the comments.
Yeah, the funny thing about Angry Joe is, I think it was like 4 years ago, he used to like do strictly games, and slowly he did like movie reviews, and people were pissed off. They were like, "This is not what you are.
Wow.
This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah,
I'm not happy
with my
I'm gonna type in the comment section, and you're gonna change because I'm mad."
That's not what I signed up with my free subscription.
Exactly. And it's so incredible to see after all these years, he stood by it. He just like ignored the hate and addressed it at points that it got too much, because it was getting toxic back when he had like just a mil sub. Now he's got like 3. Now he does it way more than games, and it's good. It's good that he's
well, the thing is, he's really into it.
When he's passionate about the thing, and he would only review stuff that he cares about.
Yeah, like Star Wars, he has all this context and knowledge, and it's super interesting hearing him and his friends, because they do it as a group, break this stuff down, because they just know more than you, basically. So yeah, that was cool. I also watched this channel called I Did a Thing.
Good channel. Good channel name.
It is. Yeah, it is a good channel name, yeah. So it's just this young guy who makes stuff. Okay, you've heard it all before. Loads of people doing this on YouTube. Now, what makes him I would describe him as a cross between Mark Rober, that other guy we've talked about before.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I can't remember his name.
And Binging with Babish. So it's kind of... He makes ridiculous things... But instead of being really like high energy, this is absurd, haha, it's like made in a serious way, but he's making jokes the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like he's talking with this soft, well-spoken voiceover about making a spoon using only a spoon, and making jokes and stuff, but it's all... Yeah, it's just like well edited, lots of effort goes into it, and... they're just good videos.
Yeah.
Funny and interesting, and kind of just ridiculous to see what he can make. Like he made spring shoes, and he's like, at this point in his voiceover, and at this point, I'm just terrified of breaking my ankles, and because he's just bouncing on these like massive, literally, he just strapped massive springs, welded them to like a pair of random shoes. So these are actually
voiceovers, like the video's done, kind of like this is me.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he does it, because I always think this with Binging with Babish. I'm like, did he record the voice afterwards, or does he just have a really good mic right next to his mouth
as he's doing it?
Because I think it might be the latter, actually. I'm not sure though.
Well, a bit of both, you never know.
Yeah. And then finally, this guy called Desync, who plays games. He's kind of a cross between like your kind of video game donkey type thing and speed running, and just he basically goes into the game, breaks it, and just does silly stuff like, look what you can do with this gnome, and just does a bunch of stupid stuff. Or now you can get up here. What are you gonna do up here? Nothing, but you could do it.
But you can.
But you can. Yeah, entertaining, good videos. Doesn't make a lot of content, not anymore. Well, he does still make stuff, but he only ever made one every 2-3 months, and it's kind of slowed down. His Half-Life 2 videos were always the most popular, and they are actually my favorite as well. But he did a popular one with the Untitled Goose Game recently.
Oh yeah, that game is popular on YouTube.
I know, yeah, it's crazy, yeah. And it's a funny game.
10, wasn't it, for YouTube Rewind?
Was it? Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And it only came out recently, so they've done really well. By the way, it was doing really well on Steam as well. It was anyway. But yeah, it was just one of those like meme hype games, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. Like Goat Simulator.
Yeah, literally like that. Yeah, you know, with Goat Simulator, they actually the devs just made that as a they made like a little demo as a joke. It was some company thing like everybody we've just finished a big project. Everybody make a little thing in a few days, and we're all gonna show them off just for a laugh.
Table,
Bring
out the beers,
just for a laugh. And you know, they showed this little tiny little demo, and they're like, this isn't a real game, and then everybody hyped it up and said, you gotta make this real game. This is hilarious, and it did really, really well, and it was hilarious. So
give
fair
that
play.
Guy a promotion.
Yeah, basically. That's kind of it. I definitely have more stuff to bring up next week. Definitely haven't even finished this list. My God, so much content, so little time.
Well, I mean, there's 9 episodes. There's quite a lot of time.
That's true. Mm-hmm. I mean, incidentally, my hours on watching
YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they've been real good. Look, so right now it's at 25 hours this week, past 7 days. That's down 12% from the previous week. I've been hitting like 29, 30.
Jeez. I got 11 hours this week.
Okay, I mean, not bad.
Well, not good enough.
Not good enough. Yeah.
See, that's why I had less content on this episode.
Ooh, that's true.
See?
But yeah, I mean, it's just the other thing as well is I've had quite a few really good games to play recently, especially Stardew Valley. If anyone's heard of that, it's very chill and doesn't take like a whole lot of concentration. So it's just constantly watching YouTube on one monitor and playing a game on the other, and it's just like that's an ideal like Sunday evening. Man, got to go to work next day, but yeah, this is chilling. Yeah, it's good. So I think that wraps us up for this week. Remember to subscribe on iTunes. Did I mention Spotify earlier? Because that's not happening. Other areas, any podcast app or SoundCloud or YouTube. I don't really know anymore. I'm at a loss, But either way, we will be back next Tuesday. Every Tuesday.
What? Every Tuesday?
That's right. That's right.
That's a tough one. Hey,
come off it.
Resolutions.
Hey,
I'm all here.
Can I just say we have actually been very consistent since starting this podcast.
I thought you meant since today.
Yeah, since today. Yeah, we have. In fact, it's very rare for us to miss a week. It genuinely is. Don't you think?
So that wraps up this.
Oh my God.
God. I think we've been okay. We've had some.
Last season we had a couple of breaks, but that there was some difficulties, But
that's true. All right, but
whatever.
I'm looking forward to doing it well this season.
Give me a break, okay, David. Come back Tuesdays. We're out on Tuesdays.
I'm ready for next Tuesday.
Thank you very much. See you all next week.
Yeah,
what you want about? We're doing well.